Tensions are growing high across Europe after the deadly terror attacks in Denmark, which left 2 people dead. Thousands were rescued by Italy's Coast Guard in the waters between Europe and North Africa on Sunday. Zlatan Ibrahimovic caused some controversy and shock among fans this weekend by revealing his tattoos. It's great to have you with us. I'm Mario Selka. Tonight, Europe remains on high alert after deadly attacks in Denmark, where 2 were killed, and in Germany, the largest carnival parade in the city of Braunschweig had to be cancelled just before it was set to begin, following a terror alert. We begin in Denmark, where the 22-year-old suspect was shot dead by police near Copenhagen's train station after opening fire on officers following an attack at a cafe on Saturday afternoon and another deadly assault 2 miles away at the city's main synagogue. Police believe the gunman was inspired by last month's Paris shootings, where Islamists targeted the offices of Charlie Hebdo, satirical magazine, and a kosher supermarket. The gunman opened fire at a cafe where a meeting on free speech was taking place. The seminar, which was targeted just before 3 p.m. UK time on Saturday, was attended by Swedish artist Lars Vilks, who has been threatened with his life for his cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad. He was not harmed, but 55-year-old documentary filmmaker Finn Nørgaard died. On Sunday, Danish Prime Minister Helle Thorning-Schmidt laid flowers at the synagogue, the scene of the second attack, where a 37-year-old voluntary guard named by Denmark's chief rabbi as Dan Uzan was killed and 2 police officers injured. The Prime Minister offered her condolences to the families and the Jewish community.
We are devastated today. A man has lost his life in a service of that synagogue, and we are devastated. Our thoughts goes to his family. We are with them today, but our thoughts goes to the whole of the Jewish community today. They belong in Denmark.
2 were killed in the attacks and 5 injured. To Germany now, where northern Germany's largest carnival parade in the city of Braunschweig has been called off following a terror alert. Authorities have reported a threat of an attack with an Islamist background. The Schudeval parade is the largest in its kind in northern Germany, which takes place on the weekend before Lent. Many cities also include satirical floats within their parades. Police asked visitors not to visit the planned parade route. To Italy now, where at least 1,000 migrants were rescued by Italy's Coast Guard with the help of other vessels. The rescue happening in the sea between Europe and North Africa on Sunday, in the 3rd operation of its kind in as many days. More than 300 people died last week trying to make it to the crossing, which claimed the lives of 3,500 last year, even before Italy closed its Mare Nostrum search and rescue mission in December. Croatia's first female president was sworn into office on Sunday, calling for national unity to help revive the country's battered economy. Conservative Kolinda Grabar-Kitarović was addressing a gathering in Zagreb that was packed with flag-waving citizens and foreign visitors, including Serbia's Prime Minister Aleksandar Vučić. Grabar-Kitarović won January's presidential election as candidate for the opposition HDZ party, pledging to probe the Social Democrat-led government into doing more for the economy, which has been in recession since 2009. European Union is supporting Albania in the response to the recent floods, which forced the evacuation of hundreds of people. Austria and Slovakia are sending material support via the EU Civil Protection Mechanism, blankets, beds, tents, generators, and winter clothing, the European Commission announced in a press release on Tuesday. The aid from the EU, coordinated by the EU's Commission Emergency Response Coordination Center, is on its way to where it's most needed in Albania. The Balkan country was hit with flash floods caused by heavy rains, forcing the evacuations of 4 villages, resulting in the displacement of hundreds of villagers and destroying a famous 18th century stone bridge. No casualties have been reported at this time. Coming up next, 28 inmates escaped from a Brazil jail, but how they escaped is the bizarre part of the story. Also, Norway's Anders Frannemel breaks the sky-jumping world record for the second time in as many days. And curious kids drop firecrackers down a manhole, but they got a lot more than they bargained for. Dramatic video and rescue and the incredible story of survival right after the break.
Thursday, the search for a blacklister takes them where they've never been before.
Something's gone sideways, Lizzie. People will die.
A strange cult preparing for acts of terror.
That gives us 72 hours before he delivers his version of Armageddon.
And the worst thing the team can do is get caught.
Wrestler!
The Blacklist, all new, Thursday at 9/8 Central on NBC.
Welcome back. This next story sounds like a story straight out of a Hollywood script. Get this, 28 inmates escaped from a Brazilian jail after 3 women in fantasy police costumes seduced prison wardens. Police found 3 wardens naked and handcuffed inside the Nova Mutum public jail near Cuiabá, central Brazil, the morning after the mass breakup. The women reportedly drugged the prison guards by giving them spiked whiskey after convincing them to take part in an orgy, according to investigators. Inmates then left the prison through the main doors, even taking with them guns and ammunition they had taken from the prison caches. Police later found the bags of lingerie and the dominatrix police uniforms believed to have been worn by the temptresses. After drugging the wardens and the women handcuffed them, took their keys and unlocked all the prison cells, according to Chief Angelina de Andres Ferreira. On Friday, 8 of the 28 prisoners had been recaptured as police launched a massive operation to track down the fugitives. Unbelievable. Norway's Anders Frannemel is added again. The 23-year-old cleared 251.5 meters to break the sky-jumping world record for the second time in as many days in Vikersund. He produced the extraordinary gravity-defying feat to beat the previous mark of 250 meters set by Peter Previch on the same slope. Frannemel only leapt 202 meters on his second attempt, eventually had to settle for second place behind Germany's Severin Friend, with Johann Andre Forfang completing the podium. This win sees Friend move into third place in overall standing, 103 points behind current leader Previch. If you play with fire, you're going to get burned. Or as these kids in China found out, if you put a firecracker down a manhole into a gas-filled sewer and don't run like Usain Bolt, you'll be lucky to escape with your life. These mischievous kids can be seen in the video loitering around a concrete area before one has the bright idea of dropping a firecracker into the manholes. As it lands the sewer, it ignites gas, causing an almighty explosion which covers the entire area in a huge plume of smoke. The blast even blows a hole into the floor, swallowing one of the young boys and surely teaching him and his pals a lesson. Luckily, no one was seriously injured in the explosion, which has been seen by thousands of people after being uploaded to live leaks. Unbelievable. And Zlatan Ibrahimovic is at it again, causing quite a bit of controversy this weekend when he took off his shirt supporting a tattooed covered body. But no need to worry, it was all for a good cause. His goal against Cannes in a 2-2 League One draw prompted him to remove his shirt and reveal the names of 50 people suffering from the hunger on temporary tattoos scrawled on his torso. The World Food Program announced that on Sunday that the Sweden International was part of a campaign to raise awareness about hunger in the world.
If I could, I would write every single name on my body. But there are 805 million people suffering from hunger in the world today. Too many of them are children. They are struck by war, natural disasters, and extreme poverty. I have supporters all over the world. Beginning today, I want this support to go to the people who really need it.
The 33-year-old was handed a yellow card for removing his shirt on the field celebration against Cannes. This means that he will be suspended for the clash against Monaco on March 1st. Coming up next, why you might want to start thinking about that summer vacation. We have Forbes' top 3 places to visit in 2015. We'll be right back. It's not too early to start thinking about that summer vacation, especially considering the frigid temperatures we've been dealing with. Not sure where you should vacation this summer? No problem. Forbes has released its top 2015 destinations to visit. First on the list, Montenegro. Move over Monte Carlo, make way for the Balkan beauty. Long overshadowed by Croatia's captivating neighbor to the west, Montenegro is poised to become a world-class luxury travel destination thanks to its idyllic 180 miles plus coastline and rugged interior dotted with river canyons, glacier lakes, and 2 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, including the singularly spectacular Dormitor National Park. Already home to stunning Aman Sveti Stefan Resort, which hosted the wedding of Novak Djokovic in July, the Balkan country is luring another top operators, including the estimated one and only chain, which will open its first European property in Kumar in Tivat Bay in 2016. Montenegro's summer moneymaker is Porto Montenegro, which is described as the deepest natural harbor in southern Europe, and the Kotor base contains 42,000 species of fish. It's next to the airport. Its closest airport is Dubrovnik, which is 27 miles away. Second destination, Namibia, celebrating its 25th anniversary as an independent nation. This year, Namibia is arguably the jewel of Africa, an example to the continent and the world of power of sustainable development. It was the first African country to incorporate protection for the environment in its constitution. The government has reinforced conservation efforts by giving its communities the opportunity and right to manage their wildlife through communal conservancies. Namibia will also boast the largest population of black rhinos and cheetahs in the world and is the only country with expanding population of free-roaming lions, leading some to call Namibia's conservation efforts the greatest African wildlife recovery story ever told. The country is also home to the largest sand dune in the world, Susuvlini, and the Fish River Canyon, the largest canyon in Africa. And finally, Lithuania, the former Soviet republic located east of Sweden and Denmark, became a card-carrying member of the Eurozone on January 1st, 2015, which means traveling there become a whole lot easier. Think scads of ATMs, simpler electronic payments, and familiar currency. It's also home to 3 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, including the Old Town of capital city of Vilnius, a Baroque masterpiece and one of the largest old towns in Central and Eastern Europe, and Curonian Spit, a 60-mile peninsula of spectacular beaches stretching south into Russia's Kaliningrad exclave. One heavily forfeited, it's now the pride of country and backed by Europe's largest moving sand dunes. Do it for this week's segment. I'm Mario Selka. Be sure to join us next week for more. Until then, have a great week.